This is Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done, and is going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex, and I'll send you the link.
Nobody ever comments Apex, huh?
I've never seen anyone comment Apex.
Yeah,
Not in a
that's
long
true.
time, anyway.
Yeah, maybe we need a
Comment Apex, guys.
Come on.
Comment Apex. Welcome to the
Doesn't
Monday
seem like
Night
anybody
Power Hour.
comments Apex, although I would surely like to be like Emmanuel if I was not.
I would like to be like Emmanuel. Making money at 22, 23. How old is he?
He's 20. I don't know if he's 23
It's
yet.
19.
He's 22. He had his first Father's Day yesterday. I know that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
First Father's Day as a father.
Yeah, as a father. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We got Murat. We got Monica. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. Say hi. Hit the like button and put your questions in the chat. We'll answer any questions you want. Hopefully they're real estate related, but, ask us about physics and we'll make something up. We got
Hey, guys, tell me about
Checkbook
checkbook control.
Physics. I don't know. For every action, there's some kind of other action.
You heard it here, guys. For every action, there's some kind of other action. I like it. Hey, from Alexandria, Virginia.
All
Good
right.
man.
Hey, talk to me about checkbook control and why it's important.
Oh, so before the show, guys, we were just talking about Roth IRAs with checkbook control, which is what I have. And my mom has one too.
And what's that?
And you also could. So I have a Roth IRA. So you pay your taxes, you put the money in there, and then all the gains are tax-free in that account, right? And the checkbook control allows you to invest in alternative assets. For example, I buy real estate with mine. I'm invested in some Puerto Rican hotels. I have a rental property. You can go get a bank loan with your Roth IRA using this to buy property. It's super powerful.
You
And I
put
just
up deposit money for people and get quick returns.
And get quick- you can do
if have
anything
enough
you
money,
want.
You could lend money to other real estate investors. You can do lots of different things inside of that Roth IRA, and it's pretty cool. But the checkbook control is so important because you actually get to write the check, as opposed to what we're going through with a friend of ours who's trying to send you some money, where he has to have some third-party person send you the money, and they have to verify everything. So he doesn't really get full control of where his money goes. At least not quickly.
I think Mike told me this, that maybe it was Jamie Dimon or one of those guys has put $1 billion into his Roth IRA.
Wow.
So you can do whatever the fuck you want.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I bet he has checkbook control.
Man,
Yeah, I think that he's had some interesting returns in his Roth IRA somehow using certain investment vehicles. I don't know if it was Jamie. Mike, if you're here, tell me who it was. I think it was Jamie Dimon, but it was one of those guys, that are a
Jamie Dimon would make sense.
Yep, it does. Also, guys, we've been talking about merch the past couple days. We're thinking about hats, flip-flops, sweaters. What do you guys want? Or is anyone interested in a hat with the flip-flop flipper logo?
Yeah.
I want a hat and flip-flops.
Maybe like some bathing suits.
You want flip-flops?
And a fisherman shirt with the flip-flop flipper on it.
Logo?
Nobody's wearing the bathing suit. Whatever they want. We
Yeah.
can get. Hats, I think, would be easy, and we could hand them out. When we do events, people could get a hat.
Tattoos?
I like the flip-flops on the front of the truck.
If anyone gets the logo tattooed onto them, you get a free membership to Apex.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, for a year.
For a whole year?
For a year. No, I'll give them a free membership for forever. Yeah. And they all go do it, and we're like, oh, fuck.
Look at this. Everybody who's watching this is from all over, which is pretty cool because people think we only talk about Puerto Rico, but
A sleeveless T-shirt, like a tank top type style.
or like a wife beater, or
I don't know, a wrapped truck. Oh, we've
we've
got one
a
of
wrap
those
truck. We've got one of those
right out there.
If
It's
you
pretty
want
cool.
it,
Or a tank top. Yep.
if you want it, I would sell it. Although I love it, so it would be expensive.
Mike, who is it you told me that has put an unbelievable amount of money into their self-directed Roth IRA? I thought it was Jamie Dimon, but I can't remember who you told me. Anyways, guys, put your questions in the chat. We've got.
Is there a cap on the Roth IRA?
What it on?
Is there caps on Roth IRAs or no?
Yeah, that's capped to $6,500 a year.
That you can put in,
You can put in,
after tax money.
but you can make an unlimited amount of money. So if you have a way to turn 6,500 into 65 million, it's tax free.
I'll ask Jamie.
Isn't that pretty cool?
That is pretty
So you
cool.
put the 6,500 in.
You write yourself a loan at 4 million% interest, and
Mitt Romney.
no, you got to be.
Mitt Romney's done it.
And Peter Thiel.
And Peter Thiel. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. Well, those are some pretty rich guys.
Those are some pretty rich guys. Yeah. Don, what are you up to today? You're over in Aguadilla?
I'm here project managing Series 80 and getting these people lunch because they worked all day. I did another delivery, 290 blocks.
Did you stack them in the truck?
I stuck them in the truck. And after I did that, I'm like, why the fuck didn't we just take all the tile last time? So
Ice cream, man.
we're here.
Did you get video of it, Adon?
It's important to talk to all your subcontractors, especially your plumbers and electricians, when you're laying new floor and stuff, because after you lay down rebar, the plumber comes back and says, hey, I wasn't supposed to have the rebar there so I can dig the holes and do all the plumbing and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, great. Well, we'll figure it out. So very important you
What
talk
are you
to
going to
these
do?
guys.
Cut out a piece of the rebar so he can dig a trench? And then
Yeah,
put it
that's
back
what
in?
we're going to do. And then just tie it back.
That's what I have to do, yeah. Yeah.
But hey, you learn. I learned something new.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What about you guys? You raise all the money for your project?
No.
We're going to get a bank loan. Did we tell you that?
No.
Our project in
Monroe.
Louisiana
Mobile, Alabama.
went from a cash deal to a bank finance deal. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we're in the process of opening up bank accounts, but we do have the down payment. We do have some renovation money, and there's a wholesale fee in there, and all the different things that it takes to close one of these things, and then the bank loan. So
I have a tip for you that I haven't told you. I spoke to the mayor's office of Monroe today.
oh,
And they are very excited about what we're doing. They have a goal of, I guess right now, the neighborhood we're buying in is like an 80% renter market, and the rest of the city's at 50% homeowner to renter.
oh wow.
And so they'd like to get that evened out. So they are actively trying to get homeowners.
Do they have any special programs?
Not the local government, but the state government has a grant program, and we're getting connected to with the guy that runs it.
Oh, sweet.
With the state of Louisiana.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they made a group message. So I'm in a group text message with the mayor of Louisiana and some.
Really?
No, it's the mayor's right-hand man.
What, still?
DJ. Yeah.
DJ, yeah.
And then, so they're hopefully going to help us get grants for down payment assistance on the back end when we go to sell these things.
Yeah.
Because how easy is that? We go to the renter.
Hey,
You're
sign
gonna-
up for this program. They're going to give you the down payment. We're going to do everything else. You're going to be a homeowner.
You're going to be a homeowner. Your rate stays the same, and you're going to get a grant for
wow.
$7,000. And
That's pretty
he's
sick.
gonna connect me with local job placement people. There's a local program, so that way when we go to them and they say, "Hey, you need a job to qualify and 10% down," and they say, "I don't have either of those,"
Call this guy.
we say, "Here's the program, and here's how you get a job, and you can own this house."
How sick is that?
That's pretty cool.
One of the things that we learned from going to Monroe was we've always kind of liked to leave places better off than when we found them, and creating homeownership, it just there's pride in that. And we went and looked at 50 houses where they're, like McKenna said, it's all renters, and they're just beaten, right? Like they're resided to the fact that they're going to be renters forever. So when you start to talk to them about the fact that they could become homeowners, you see their eyes light up and their energy changes,
and it gives people a reason to go to work, to get out of bed. You change the whole family dynamic. Like, the kids are going to inherit a house. There's wealth in the family because, after 30 years, you own a home that you've been keeping nice for 30 years. And then you do that in scale in the neighborhood, and suddenly it's a nice neighborhood, and house values go up. And that's another thing the mayor's office would be very excited about, is having property values go up.
Sure.
But they get to increase taxes, but then also it just helps everyone. And that's an initiative he was talking to me about, is I want to see appreciation in that neighborhood and help people. And the only way to do that is if you have homeowners or if it's just renters everywhere.
And they were willing to talk to us. I mean, we're not making a real huge investment or anything. I mean, it'll end up being a couple $1 million, and then you'll sell the homes for more than that. But it's not a huge out-of-pocket investment, but they're still excited to talk to us. That's pretty cool.
But I think we're doing something that's really aligned with their goals and directly benefits that city. And can you imagine if Monroe was able to take that neighborhood and make it look like the neighborhood on the north side? Suddenly you've doubled the amount of housing that's really nice, and businesses thrive. And
that's true, because the houses on the north and the houses on the south basically are the same houses.
Very similar.
They look the same. It's the same builder, built at the same time.
Yep.
It's just that one side is renters and one side is homeowners, and the difference is night and day.
Night and day. So that's the plan, guys. If you haven't heard about it, let us know. Ask questions. We're happy to talk about it. We actually have some questions here.
I like this one.
Which one, Adon?
The one that has a bunch of periods. It's like a telegraph.
Okay, from John S. Ray. I have 70 acres, 27 hectares outside Panama City, Panama, looking for someone Spanish-speaking to prepare marketing package and promote to Florida developers.
Dude, that's how I read it, but in my head I was saying, stop.
So a hectare is 3 acres, basically, about 3 acres, 2 point something.
So 70 acres.
I've always wanted to go to Panama.
Yeah.
But anyways, is there anybody here who wants to help market Panama City, Panama land to Florida buyers?
Don, are you in Apex? If you're in Apex, make a post about it, and someone has to help. You should reach out to Alan or somebody like that. Or Aaron. He just did something really nice for his project.
Aaron would be an excellent guy to reach out to.
Aaron would be really good.
John, this is a real, obviously we'd love to have people join Apex. It's our group where we're actually doing things together. But if you're not in there, and if you are, you can already make the post. But Aaron is in there, and he could help you to market this thing. He would use AI, and I think it would be a fun project for you guys to work together on. And that's the kind of thing we like to do inside of there, is find ways to create partnerships. So you already have the 70 acres. He's got an ability to market stuff, and I think he's got enough time on his hands that he could do it.
I think so. And then also, John, on the channel here, every Tuesday, we do a Shark Tank deal analysis. Go watch the past
That's
two
a featured meal.
especially. There's some really good presentations, and you can just steal what they did. I mean, just copy what they did, make it for your own deal, and it's a great presentation. And then when you're ready, come on Shark Tank. We'd love to talk to you about the deal. Even if we don't end up investing in it, we like to rip them apart and put them back together and figure out how do you maximize profit and make it a good deal for everybody. And we'd love to talk about it. So come on the Tuesday show. Pablo says, do you guys have a fix and flip calculator I can use? Yes. How do we get it to you? Pablo, are you in Apex?
I think
or are
Pablo
you?
is in Apex.
Let's see. I'm going to look right now, Pablo. Because if you are, I can DM it to you over there. If not, join the free one. I can DM it to you over there. Pablo. Pablo's been a member for a long time.
Pablo's in Apex. He and his grandpa are getting ready to invest with us soon, hopefully. So
Oh, okay, good.
Pablo,
you know Pablo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
remember Pablo, of course.
I'm gonna send it to you on through school DM.
There's
You guys go on to the
some-
next question while I do this.
Next question, 2,500 square foot elevation. So it sits up above sea level, cooler temps than the city. How hard is it to get up there, John? Is it twisty, curvy roads?
Here's a question.
Is there a way to help pre-foreclosures and get paid? Oh, great question, Edith. Yes. So this has been one of probably the most tried and proven ways that someone who wants to get into real estate investing that doesn't have a ton of money, if you can get yourself a list of pre-foreclosures, which is really, really easy to do. Basically, a pre-foreclosure list is anybody who's losing their house to the bank before they lose the house to the bank. From the day that they miss their first payment until the day that they go to the foreclosure sale at the courthouse, they are a pre-foreclosure person, and they're motivated to not be in pre-foreclosure because nobody wants to lose their house. So helping those people, real estate investors get paid to solve problems. And so if you get a hold of these lists, and if you're asking the question, you've probably heard this before, then you can contact them and tell them that you're a real estate investor, that you work with a group of real estate investors, and find out what their motivation is. Why are they in trouble? How far behind are they? Do they have equity? And there's all kinds of different ways that you can help them. I mean, it used to be that you would just want to find the ones with equity, pay cash, pay off the bank, and take a house, fix it up, and sell it. But now you can do sub-2 deals, you can do seller finance deals, you can bring their loan current, you can make them loans. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that you can help people who are in pre-foreclosure and get paid to do it, Edith. So again, real estate investors are really paid to solve problems, right?
Mhm.
That's the key. And so finding motivated sellers, solving those problems, that's how we get paid. We've got a lot of content, I think, that's around this. We talk about pre-foreclosure lists on several videos.
Yep.
We could do more of that content too.
I think that could be worth a video series of like getting to the heart of how you make money as a real estate investor. It's the problem solving aspect, being willing to do what other people can't or won't. I think that gets lost in the tactics of here's how you find properties, analyze them, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's finding problems and solving problems that no one else can do. I have a good buddy who's going to go down to Puerto Rico and visit my dad for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think that's probably going to be a key thing for him to learn. You know, he's got the drive to do it, but he needs to learn like what are the things you do to get paid, and problem solving is what you need to do. Antonio says, I have a question. Just found out my neighbor is selling a 2-family house. Zillow has it at $620,000. Oof. I would love to purchase what would be a good offer to pitch to buy houses to the left side of mine. Just pay market price. Then you get it.
Well, I think,
Ask what they want, give it to them.
well, that's not a good offer, right?
I mean, it is if it's the house adjacent to you and you have the money to do it, you know.
That's true. Yeah, if the house next to my house in Gamoy came up for sale, I'm very likely going to buy it at
Market.
basically market price.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to try and get the best deal I
Yeah.
can, right?
But it has more value to you than
That's
anyone else.
the truth. So if
Yeah.
the house next to mine in Gamoy comes up, it has more value to me than anyone else on the planet. And Antonio, this could potentially be true for you as well. So if they're asking $620,000, obviously it's a pretty nice house. I mean, unless they're just insane.
Yeah.
But if that's what the houses are worth, and you want to have a bigger place, it could be worth it to you. We'd have to have a conversation about what your situation is and why you want the house and that kind of stuff before we could really tell you what a good offer is. It sounds like you're not saying that it's a distressed house, and you're not saying that it's an estate. It doesn't necessarily sound like this seller is motivated or has a big problem to solve.
Yeah.
So then you're buying it because you want it, and you're going to pay more for that, generally speaking. But you can still offer, right? I mean, if you think it's worth 620 and you want to get a good deal, and you can buy it for 400, obviously that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Try and do seller financing. That's always a good deal. Doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, you could make them their offer at 620 and just get them to take a little money down, and they're the bank at a low interest rate or no interest at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then that could be a tremendous deal for you.
He says house is off market. Just found out they're going to sell. The first thing you need to know is what do they want. That's a real thing, because if they only want 400 and you offer 450, you just got fucked.
Well, and if they're your neighbor, the easy thing to do, I think, would just be go knock on the door and say, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. Tell me about this. I'm interested to know. Maybe I know someone who would want to be my neighbor. So what are you asking for it? And what would you take for it? How quickly do they need to move? I mean, maybe you could find out they're getting a divorce. There's different reasons that people would be motivated other than distress in the house. So, and maybe there's no distress at all. And
from a tactical standpoint, you want to get it before it goes on market. It's better for you. I mean, in this market, though, actually, maybe not. Where are you located? If you're outside of Puerto Rico, maybe it is okay to put it on market, because then they realize what they want is not good. If you're in Puerto Rico, I still think the market's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Anyways, go have a conversation with them. See what they want. See what their plans are, and try and negotiate something before it goes to market. You don't need to get realtors involved. That could be the best way to do it.
That is one thing. If you get it before they put it on the market, you're automatically saving them. In the States, you're basically saving them 6% off the top.
Yeah.
If you're in Puerto Rico, that number's a little lower, maybe 4%. But that's still on $600,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, 30 grand.
So you could almost certainly, if they want 620 and they don't have to do a realtor, and you get them before they list it, you'd almost certainly save 4 to 6%.
I'm meeting with her this week, so fingers crossed.
All right.
Mike says, I bought the house next door to me. You get to pick your neighbors. Good thing or a bad thing? Ha.
That's right.
I love it. Jay's been saying something here. Monica also asked for a copy of the calculator. Yes, I'm going to DM it to you on school. Chris G says, howdy from Hold My Hand Wholesale. Stop in and say hi.
All right, Chris, we'll come by.
Yeah, how do we get in? We can pop in now.
No, we'll pop in. You want to pop in now?
Maybe we could. I don't know how it works.
I don't know.
If you had a link where we could join Chris, let us know. Monica, I'm going to send you the calculator. Just sent it to you on school. John says, easy, very easy, paved road, 40 minutes to the airport, 30 minutes to the hospital, offering an equity position, only that large trees have to stay. Other than that, no restrictions.
And you can build anything you want.
And you can build anything you want.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, John.
Yeah.
I think.
How long have you been in Panama, John? That's awesome. Man, you see this? You show up to Monday Night Live and we're talking about Panama. We've never done that before.
I know. I
How
thought
cool.
go.
I've wanted to go to Panama for 20 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I can send you the calculator as well.
Isn't it available to everybody?
It is available to everybody.
We'll send it. Okay.
I'll still DM it to you. Oh, you're not in Apex. I'll still send it to you though.
How many? You know what? How many people? I assume that everybody who shows up here and watches us live on a Monday night, is this episode 75?
This is episode 75.
So finally, I was saying episode 75 last week, but now we're at episode 75. But I assume that everybody who shows up and watches us on Monday Night Live already subscribes to the YouTube channel. And we ask people to like when you're watching it. We really appreciate that. It helps the algorithm. But I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done it. I was listening to a podcast earlier on YouTube, and that guy told everybody that he is fighting to get to 3 million and got 40,000 subscribers last week.
Oh,
so that's what we like. Just 40,000 of you, if you would go ahead and subscribe this week, that'd be great.
how did he do it? What do you do to get that?
Except 2.5 million subscribers already, so he's growing pretty fast. But, That's
like we're at 25,000 fighting to get to 30,000.
trying to get to 50,000.
So that's only 400. That's the same ratio. That's easy.
Yeah, it
Man,
should be easy.
It should be easy.
Should be easy peasy.
Man, these things really scale. Chilpin in the house. Hey, man, good to see you. Sent you the deal calculator. Yes, I live in Las Vegas. Would you send me the details? I'm a broker based in Puerto Rico. I've done some deals in the past with Florida brokers. John, reach out to Andreas. Thanks very much. Where can I find those questions? Which questions, Edith?
She's talking about the pre-foreclosure.
Pre-foreclosure. Okay.
Let me think about it, Edith. So I guess you're asking like, what would be a script?
ChatGPT could write you one.
Yeah, so ChatGPT is going to replace us all.
Yep.
Edith, if you haven't used it, it's super simple. And the more you use it, the better it will get to know you and you can create things. And so the better you prompt it, the better output it will give you. But you could certainly go into ChatGPT and say that you want to start talking to sellers of pre-foreclosures and you want to determine their motivation and then how to make things profitable for everybody.
Yep.
And if you put that, I'll do it right now.
Yep. Why don't we do it on the computer and
Let's do it right now on the computer and we can share it.
All right.
Why just talk about it when we can show you?
Yep.
Go into ChatGPT.
Present, share screen. All right, guys. I think you can see this. Hello. I like to say hello to mine. I am going to be calling pre-foreclosures. I can't spell.
Oh, CLOSURE. Yep.
URE. Sorry, guys. This is embarrassing.
It'll pick
Oh,
it up.
man.
You don't
It'll
have,
figure
you
it
don't
out.
have to you don't have to spell properly for ChatGPT. It's super smart.
Foreclosures. And try to buy them. I bet this is great content. Here, you keep talking while I write this.
All right, so Edith, while he's doing that, you guys can see he's just going to put a prompt into ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT now every single day. I mean, really, I'll do this kind of prompt to ChatGPT if I'm talking about making a new video, if I'm trying to figure out how to have even a phone call. Today, I was trying to have a phone call with the seller. And I wanted to reposition my offer a little bit. And so I asked it how to do that. And I have been using ChatGPT the entire time that I've been trying to buy this particular piece of property and talking about the property. So I was able to come up with bullet points and talk about things like reminding me of things that we had talked about in the past. It's freaking amazing. All right. So what does it say?
It wrote me a whole
It's got
freaking
a whole
script. This is a 10-minute conversation right here, but call them up, tell them who you are, wait for them to speak, empathy and framing, set up that this is a good call for them, that you can work for them. Would you mind sharing what got you in this? Is it job related, a divorce? What's the story? Let them talk, listen deep, take notes. Then based on what they say, here you go. You get a next script, and then you set an appointment. I'd love to take a quick look at the house. Can I swing by for 15 minutes? Just I'm not a realtor. I'm not going to list your house. I won't waste your time. Even if we don't do anything, at least I'll give you an understanding of your options. And then, boom, would you like a follow-up?
And now you've got a script, and you could go in and you could ask it more questions like,
if you don't like something, you can change it.
Or you could say, if I get this answer, what should I say to them? If I get that answer, if I find out they're going through a divorce, or if I find out that somebody passed away, what are my responses if I find out there's a job loss or they have to move out of state and so they can't afford to make both payments? And then it will further help you to hone in on how to solve these problems. And then it's just practice.
And then it's just
a lot of times it's just practice. So I would tell you, Edith, that I've never used a script. However, I know that other people do. And I also know that there's probably, if you just Google scripts for pre-foreclosure, you could have found it that way as well. But I really like ChatGPT a lot. So
Edith says, speaking with the owner about multifamily, 7 units, possibly could be 9.
And she's in pre-foreclosure.
And they're in
the owners
pre-foreclosure.
in pre-foreclosure. And where are you located, Edith?
And then John asked, do they recognize 1031 exchanges in Puerto Rico?
No, they don't, John. Unfortunately, if they did, that would be a wonderful day. But no, they don't. Doesn't work. Alan answered for me.
Yep.
You can use something close to it. You can set up a opportunity zone fund, and it's basically a self-directed opportunity zone fund. If you're going to do significant improvements, you can sell something with the capital gain in the States and then buy something in Puerto Rico, and you defer your capital gain, and then you, over a 10-year and a day period, you get all of the growth tax free. So it's actual
better.
It's better than
Yeah.
a 1031, and that after that 10 years and a day, you get what's called a catch up. Say you've invested $1 million, and it goes from being $1 million property today to $10 million in 10 years and a day. You have $9 million worth of tax-free money that you pull in.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not a deferral. It's a complete avoidance.
Yeah, it's like the Roth IRA.
You cash that money.
Yep.
You don't ever have to reinvest it. You just
And then
go have a party.
Alan is a fan of a trust system that he loves talking about. If you want to reach out to Alan, you can talk to him. He loves it. DM him on Apex, he just said. Alan also runs a monthly group. Alan, we got to set you up for your new one. And how is Utah? Love to hear it. Give us a call, Alan, whenever you're free. Andrea says, how do you guys view the public auctions in the courts? Any deals?
We've done a few recently.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the ways that we're actively buying on the island. We've bought at least 4 so far. Adon is going.
I'm here at one right now.
Yeah, show him Adon.
Here. This
Look
is
at
our
this.
duplex.
Looks like a nice foreclosure. Wow.
I'll show you
And
this.
it looks like you're moving quick on that renovation, Adon.
Yeah, we're gonna block this up. This is our new bathroom for the master here. It's a big bathroom.
Please tell me you got pictures of yourself driving down the street carrying all those blocks, right?
Yeah, sure. I clone myself and I have another guy standing at the corner taking photos of me.
And you just can't get any good video without me.
Why do you leave? Why do you
Oh,
leave? You just gotta
sorry.
stay here
My
and
fault.
record me.
So stupid.
We're pouring new floors here. Once the plumber comes in and gets done, got a little
Hey.
porch over here. Look at this view. And this is a
That's
foreclosure
that's a serious
sale.
new floor. Wow, look at that view. That's amazing.
That is sick. So we bought that house, Andreas, at the foreclosure sale in Aguadilla. We paid $121,000 for it. At the end of the day, we're going to have about 100 and how much in it, Adon?
I think we're gonna be close to
175.
maybe 2.
Are we gonna be that high?
No, I don't think we'll be that high. I don't know. I gotta talk to Dave. We're
And what
close.
floor? I mean, that one behind you
We've
looks
been
pretty
told-
fancy.
So we had it comped by a couple different realtors before we actually bought it, and we think it's worth about 275 to 300. And that was not doing what we're doing. So we're doing more. So I really hope we're going to get that 275 number plus.
That's our
Appraisals
neighbor.
are worth, though, when we sell.
That's us.
We got killed on the last one where we sold it for 275 and
Yeah,
only
and then
appraised
they're
for
like, nope.
235.
That doesn't make any sense because it's transacting on the open market. Like, what do you mean it's not worth it?
I know.
You got
and
someone
there's
willing to
comps on
pay
the
it,
street,
and there's
so.
comps.
And in this neighborhood, there are houses below us that are selling for $400,000. So there's
Yeah, 350
they're
and
newer
above.
built houses, but it's the same neighborhood basically.
And here's our idea. So we bought a double lot. So we're gonna show you the house now. But we want to segregate the lot and build or put a prefab here. Yeah, I'll show you. That's us.
Yeah,
This is also
there
us.
you go. And that's our lot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you could build a whole nother house there.
And all those houses you see down there in that neighborhood are those houses that are 350 and above. And then the neighbor told me that one next to us right there, he wanted to start selling it at 350 with a realtor. So I
Nice.
think we're
That's great.
excited to see what happens. And then this foreclosure was interesting because we were going after other ones, and this was the last one of the day. We thought everybody was going to be there, and everybody left. No one wanted it.
Yeah.
Only one more guy.
Did they spend
thought
all their
it was-
money, or what happened? They just,
Well,
yeah,
the
majority
bid
of
started
the
at
sales
40.
Went for a high number, and so then this last one, all of the bidders were still kind of there, but they were talking in the hall, and we ended up being in the room with one other guy who bid one time, and then we bought it basically at what the bank.
Well,
wanted.
it was starting at 30, and it went all the way up to like 120, and then we bid
The
with
bank
them.
did.
The bank did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other guy bid one time, and then that was
Yeah,
it.
it was out, and then we.
Through him.
Yeah. So
That's
we
awesome.
got awesome project.
And what tool do you use to look at the foreclosures?
The website I use is Edictos y Subastas.
We
It's
really got
$40
sponsored by them.
It's 40 bucks, but it's worth it. It gives you almost all the information you need. You know, you still got to do some research after that, but for the most part, works really well. And then for comps, I use like 14 different websites to get one question answered. So don't ask me.
And Andreas, if you want to talk to us about going with us, we're probably going to be going here in the next few weeks again.
Yeah.
And
This is a commercial realtor here on the island, guys. So
Yeah, I
if
know
you
who
want
Andreas
comps
is.
and stuff like that.
Andreas
reach
is
out to him.
friends with the guy from Monroe.
No, that's Eli.
that's Eli.
Eli. Okay. Murat says, I found a few listings in Puerto Rico that are complete renovation projects and caught my eye. Price really low in general. Are such listings worth considering? If the numbers make sense, then they're worth considering.
Murat, that's what we do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I like to do. You saw the house that Adon's at. This is not a small renovation. I mean, look, they're cooking some good chicken there.
Yeah. Adon took too long with lunch.
Yeah.
They started cooking.
They're already cooking.
No,
This
we
is
got
not
everything.
a
We
small
got puppies
renovation.
here.
Like, we're doing everything.
And he got a house dog too?
You got a new dog?
It's a street dog.
That's
Yeah,
what
that
you
dog
need,
is
Don.
pretty
You need
excited
a
to
new
see you.
dog.
Yeah. Show us the
He's
dog.
waiting for that chicken. He smells that
Oh,
chicken.
he's
That's
so
what he's
happy.
waiting for. So here's where the new kitchen goes. We got the guys actually staying here and living here while they work. And this is, if your contractor doesn't stay where they're working, they're not a good contractor. You got shitty contractors.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Um,
Adon has a bunch of
Back
shorts.
to Murat though. I think these are the type of things that make the most sense, right? They're priced really low because they should be priced really low. They have no value. They're very distressed and they can't be lived in. That's very often what we like to buy. And then you figure out what the highest and best use is, whether that's just turning it back into a house or turning it into a skating rink. You do that as the real estate investor. You figure out what the best use is for the building, and then you do the value add real estate investing and you make a bunch of money. That's a big problem on the island, is that there's
a
lot
housing
of these
shortage.
houses
Yeah.
that are just sitting there. We call them zombie houses. I had someone comment on a video today saying they're 67 years old and they never heard the term zombie houses before. So I guess I phrased that term for these ugly houses that are all over the island. But
They really are though. They need help. The
They're-
zombie houses.
they're zombie houses. I say they're zombie houses because it seems like the zombie house phenomena is spreading too. Like it sort of never ends. It's got this creep that you got one in the neighborhood, and the next thing you know, you got 10 in the neighborhood the next year.
So Mike says Peter Thiel started his self-directed Roth IRA in January 1999. PayPal for about $1,700, $5 billion in today's money,
What?
tax free.
So he invested through a self-directed IRA in PayPal in 1999, and now it's worth 1.7 million.
No, it's worth $5 billion.
5 billion. 1,700 to 5 billion.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
fucking nuts.
That's pretty good.
Oh man. What type of property is a good way to get started in real estate investment?
Well, we were just talking to Murat about
first property.
buying these zombie houses and fixing them up. A house like Adon is doing is a foreclosure. It wasn't in as bad a shape as some of these others. And anything that you can buy it at a low enough valuation that after you do the repairs, it's now worth significantly more, and you're going to make a bunch of money. Depending on your situation, you could start out as a wholesaler, and if that's something where you're just getting started out, you don't have a lot of cash, maybe you need to go out and find the deal of a lifetime and then bring it to a community like ours and flip it or sell it on to someone else who's going to actually then do the value add renovation. So anything that can make money, we've got a whole fix and flip course inside of our Apex group, and McKenna's going to put the link to join us. If you're not already in our online community, Join us over there.
Well, and that leads into Murat just said, hey, I found in Guanabo, San Juan, and Vega Baja. Shall I send you guys the listing links to see what you think? We are doing a show on Tuesdays. A show, I don't know what you call it. It's called Shark Tank.
Well, it's
Called Real Estate Shark Tank.
Real
where we
Estate
fight
Shark
your
Tank.
deals to death.
And that's where you could bring that, Murat. If you were in Apex, you can go on Tuesday, pull up the listings, pull up a deal that you're looking at, and we analyze them live and talk about what we would do, how you could raise money for it. Typically, I will say, we have a lot of people send us links or they'll call us and say, hey, I just drove by this house. You know, it needs everything. Do you think it's a deal? And we'll say, oh, what are they asking? What's it need? And they don't know. And that is not the most fruitful conversation.
Yeah, and it'd be nice, Murat, if tomorrow night you did come in and we could pull you up on screen and we can have a face-to-face conversation. Because if you're planning to make the purchase and you've got the cash and you have the ability to do the renovations, that's one conversation.
Yeah.
The other conversation could be that you have no money whatsoever and you're just looking to put something under contract and find someone to partner with you or find someone who you could wholesale it to. And then there's conversations at every level in between. You might have found a deal and have a little bit of money, but you don't have the ability to get it fixed up. And so there's different kind of partnerships that can be had. And it's a lot easier to find that out if we're talking face-to-face back and forth.
Yeah, Murat came here to the island and we drove around, saw the McMansion 609.
And I'm
all that
pretty
stuff,
sure, is
so-
Murat in Apex already now?
Yeah, Murat is in Apex, so he knows what we're looking for when we try to analyze deals. So
Yeah. And all of these houses that need a whole bunch of work, I mean, it's just a function of what does it cost to put them back together, and then what will they sell for or rent for on the back end, right? So that's tomorrow night's a really good place to look at a couple of them. Yeah.
Sorry, I was distracted. My buddy's in the hospital. I was getting an update.
Is he all right?
Everything's good so far. Yeah, Wes is flying in, but
Oh,
I think it's okay. I think it's just coming
their
to.
grandfather had a stroke.
Oh, I didn't hear about that either.
Yeah.
Oh man, my family friends are having a tough week. Sorry guys, back to real estate. Thanks to Adon for showing you around the San Juan area, some of the projects you developed and currently working on. Amazing work. Here's the link to Apex, guys. Would love to have you join. Edith has a possible 9-unit asking 1.1 million. So the price can come down with no agent. Waterfront, he didn't build on waterfront. Contacted him at the end of the month because of contract. I will need help, Melbourne, Florida.
Oh, well, we're close to Melbourne, Florida. A 9-unit on the water in Melbourne, Florida doesn't sound absolutely insane. Actually, it sounds pretty good, I think.
Yeah, 9 units on the
9
ocean.
units on the ocean, even if it's intercoastal.
Yeah.
Okay, Edith, are you a member of Apex?
Yeah, you should bring that deal tomorrow, Edith.
And Edith,
I'd
we're
like to-
here this week. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've got. I would say let's join Apex, and if you're not
Shilpin likes the 9 units.
yeah, Shilpin
wants
everything. He's
everything.
like Mikey with the Wheaties or whatever.
He's like you. You see deals everywhere.
I
Shilpin
do, I
sees
know.
them too.
Shilpin does too.
Shilpin's got the vision.
Shilpin does.
Yeah, Edith, come message us in Apex. Come on the show tomorrow. Let's talk about it. Get photos. That's definitely very interesting. 1.1 million on the water. Price can come down even. I mean, that is. I'd like to look at it at the very least.
And Melbourne, where's Melbourne on the water? What?
Let's see.
Let's pull up a map. That's like above Cocoa or below Cocoa.
Below Cocoa,
Below Cocoa. Yeah, I like the area though.
Florida. Yeah, I think it's very much like New Daytona, New Smyrna. That's north of Palm Bay.
Yeah, you
That's a great location. I'll show you guys on the map
get
here.
on the water. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you go a little bit south to Boca Raton and Vero Beach and Port St. Lucie, you got some very fancy homes.
and I wonder if it's the intercoastal water or if it's the beach.
The Atlantic.
But it doesn't really matter all that much.
No,
They're both really good.
I mean, look at this beach, guys. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah, that's a good beach.
That is a good beach. I'd
All
take
right.
a lot there for 1.1 million, maybe
I mean,
if it was on the water.
the last thing we did on the water in New Smyrna, I think we were at $800,000 or $900,000 years ago.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
15 years ago, probably
That was
20 years ago. I was a kid.
yeah.
We went for a beach vacation, guys, and I was probably like 12.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So really, 9 units. I mean, it's a different beach, different area, but
Yep.
it doesn't sound terrible.
Edith, send us more info.
We're excited to
Yeah, I wanna talk more about
I'm
it.
still in town, so really, Melbourne, we're an hour away.
Lingovox translation says, "Are you open to doing deals outside of the United States?"
It'd have to be a really special deal. Over time, we will become more and more open to it. And Ling, we've done things all over.
No, you've done it in Ukraine.
Adon and I went to Ukraine during the war, and we bought a house for for some brothers that were orphans.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I have an interest in a hotel in Tirana, Albania. So I'm definitely open to it, but there has to be a special story, a special reason. Usually that stuff has more to do with something other than money. What would you call it?
Once Ukraine,
Goodwill
There's-
or charity.
Charity?
We call it charity.
Yeah.
We're also looking at doing a deal in Japan. It's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of more on the fun side of things too, where if we can find the time, which man, time is the biggest limiter on this Japan deal, but we'd like to go over there and buy a $10,000 house out in the Japanese countryside and not even see it before we buy it. I actually do think, what are they, 40 or 50,000?
It could be. I think they can be from as low as like 10 up to
Yeah.
100. And it just depends on what you've got.
Yes. So it's that would be cool. But
Ling,
yeah, what do you have?
What do you have? What do you have and where is it? Yeah,
I mean, if
so
Link says, "Hey, you can invest, $10 and make 20 million
yeah, we can put in
That's great.
17 and get back 5 billion,
$5 billion
and only 40
in our
years.
self-directed Roth IRA,"
Yeah, we're up. We're
yeah,
up for that.
I'm in.
New to the channel. I'd
Yeah,
love to
but-
buy a ranch in Puerto Rico for myself and my family. Where are some good sources to find great deals? Which areas are best for a gringo? Yeah, so if you want a ranch, then you probably aren't going to be in the gringo land.
No, you're not buying a ranch in Dorado or
I mean, if you've got pockets that are like,
100
We
million.
we got one for you right here. This duplex has a big piece of land all the way to the back.
What is it, down the mountain?
yeah,
And let me tell you something, in Aguadilla, if you have parrots in cages in your storefront, you're a big deal. Just letting you know. So, and some of these guys have full farms behind the ferreterias and stuff. So you guys are big deals here. So if you start a farm here, you'll be a big deal.
He says shallow pockets. I raise sheep.
that's great.
Yeah.
That might be the best comment we've had
Yeah, that's really
on
good.
any of the Monday Night Lives. That's great. Shallow pockets. I raise sheep.
Yeah, you won't be in Dorado or the Palmas del Mar, which are the two gringo lands, we call them. Those are
Gringo.
very expensive. I think, though, like a ranch near you in Camoy would be pretty affordable.
Well, I mean, Lares,
Near
in
Lares.
Lares, I have 45 acres, and we're looking for something to do with it. And we could do seller financing. It's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive either. I think last time I remember we were at like $790,000 on the price, and it comes with 8 shells that have been being used as horse stables for several years, and then 45 acres. It's got some water on it.
Yeah,
It's got some hills. The sheep would love it.
the sheep would love it.
The sheep would love it. It's 45 acres isn't a lot of land for sheep, but it's better than nothing. That's pretty big.
It's pretty big.
Pretty big
I
for
think
them.
what you could do, you'd be open to some creative structuring on that too,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
like if you really were raising a lot of sheep, you have a herd of 2,000 sheep or something, and they have some serious income. There's a deal to be made based on
I mean,
sheep and herds, and I don't know. We'll get tribal with it.
I think there's also
You could have cows.
I think Matos there's some farming incentives. I'm not familiar with farming incentives, but I believe that they exist. So Look that up for the island, see what the farming incentives are.
Nancy also said, what about land with trees to get income from carbon credits?
I've never done that, Nancy. I think that is a business, right?
Yeah. I mean, what's better than that? You grow trees
Yeah.
Is carbon credits a thing here on the island?
Got some land and
grew carbon credits?
And well, no, he harvested the trees.
Oh, yeah.
So he had,
I've heard
he had
about
some
that.
acreage and he harvested the trees.
And then it pays for the
Carbon
land.
credit stuff. I've heard of this, but I've never done it. Where you just kind of land bank it and you let a developer who's developing some piece of land, he then gets to put it into the land bank and it doesn't get developed, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Edith
Nick-
says yes. What is yes, Edith?
Edith, I think, is coming on the show tomorrow, hopefully
Awesome.
with more info.
Okay.
Nancy says, "Hey guys, I know all about buying in Japan. I know we've spoken
Yeah, we've
about
talked to it, Nancy. We're gonna talk more when we get closer. I thought we were gonna go this year. That's not looking likely.
it. We just don't have the time,
Maybe,
but we'd like
maybe
to.
We can go in 2026.
So many great deals. We can only be there 6 months, and that's like we're not trying to live there. Our plan is we have a
No, that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there 6 weeks. And I don't expect that I would go every year either. But if Nancy and me and a few others, if we all bought the thing together, then we could just alternate when it gets used.
yeah.
And it's really more of a fun thing to do and prove that we can do it. Sure,
Great
we're definitely
content.
going to try and make money on it. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah. But even if we made just a killer YouTube video, I'd be happy
yeah, and get to go to Japan.
and get to go to Japan.
That would be sick.
I mean, I
don't
say that and I don't want to lose 50 grand, but
Nancy had a really cool one. Remember with the water?
Yeah, and the boat.
And it was like 120 or 130,000.
yeah, and that one I think you
Is that
could make
still
money.
available, Nancy?
That would be interesting. Glad to have the best comment. I lease land on the mainland for my sheep and have a 10-acre farm now. Wasn't sure if land leasing was an option out there. Definitely is.
You can lease some land from me. I
Yeah.
have 45 acres, honestly.
And how far is Lares from the beach?
20 minutes.
Yeah, you could be
It's 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes from the highway that you can get
anywhere on the
direction
island.
It's very near Arecibo, so nice beaches, surfing,
Even if you
shopping. You got everything near there, pretty near there anyway. You can be at a Home Depot in 15 or 20 minutes. You can be at a Walmart very quickly too.
Well, what you could do too, Dad, is do a land lease, have the land bringing in an income, and then just have a deal that you can sell with enough notice too. Because you are eventually trying to sell, but
Yeah, we'd like to sell.
if you had a 2-year lease and an option to extend, and then I don't know how you'd structure it, but then you're having income on the land while you're still trying to sell.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'd imagine you need.
we could do a
years.
land lease. We could get sheep meat and cheese and milk. We'll trade.
Thanks for the reply. You don't harvest the trees on the carbon
Yeah,
credit.
you don't harvest on the carbon stuff.
Nancy's going in December,
Oh, good for you, Nancy.
and I'm in for doing a partnership in Japan.
We're going to talk more about that for sure.
Yeah. What about lots of land in Cabo Rojo? Interested. I have a couple that I'm looking at, but I would like to see how to partner with you guys. All I would need is the help up front. Oh, I got great news about land in Cabo Rojo too.
What's that?
You have some.
I have a hotel.
Oh,
It's not
the-
exactly
what-
land. Cabo
oh, I'm
Rojo.
thinking of
Yeah.
the island, Culebra. I was thinking of Culebra.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look, we're up to look at anything. I don't buy land. Land finds me, and it's just like usually looks like such a ridiculous deal that I will accidentally get involved, and then I suffer for it. So I don't love land plays, but I'm not a land developer. So there are people inside of our group that's what they do. They go in and they build infrastructure. They sell lots. So I would definitely suggest that you click on the Apex link and join it and come and network with us and show people what you've got. And inside of that group, it's not just the ability to come and do deals with Don and McKenna and I. There's a bunch of people in there that are doing deals together.
Yep.
And I'm probably not your land person. I love Cabo Rojo, but it would it would have to be a super special thing for me to want to get involved with another piece of land right now.
Well,
the land I have for sale. So
here's a thought I have: if you're doing lots, just one off, two offs, there's lenders in the group too that could do a new construction loan for you, whether that's through the bank with Bill Halleck or a private money lender and some kind of partnership. I bet people would be interested in that if you have building experience too. It sounds like you know what to do once you have it, is what I'm reading here. So curious to see if something could happen that way.
I wonder how much land costs in Cabo Rojo. What's it cost an acre?
And what can you build? And
the nice thing about buying land in Cabo Rojo right now is that there's some other really big developer that is buying land and is going to spend $2 billion.
What's the status on that?
That's a big project that apparently is moving forward. So Cabo Rojo is going to go nuts. And so getting in now on a land play in Cabo Rojo is probably not a bad idea.
Nancy's going to send us a link about carbon credits. Awesome.
Okay, great.
There's whole towns abandoned in Japan because taxes are so high. Yep. That's exactly what we're talking. And I think they have a declining population.
Yeah, they don't produce babies enough.
No. So then they just have too many homes. Right now, there's some movement of investors buying land in Culebra.
Andreas, I have 5 acres, beautiful land, 360-degree views of the ocean. The land sits right above
Mosquito Bay.
there.
What's it called?
It sits above Mosquito Bay. Those villas that they have there, Bahia something. I forget the name.
Of that place.
But Mosquito Bay, it's pretty well known around there.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful piece of land, and I would really like to sell it, Andreas. Want to help me?
I bet he does.
Dale, Andre.
Bonita, it's something, but Bonita, Batista.
The apartment complex?
Yeah.
Yeah. Linkvox says, what's the difference between a debt investor and an equity investor? Adon, you want to take this one?
I can.
Yeah. No, I mean, you take it. I only do equity. So
an equity investor is someone who puts their money in to get a portion of the equity. A debt investor is someone who lends money to a real estate investor, and they basically get an interest rate return. So it can be that you lend someone in the form of a first mortgage or a second mortgage, or you could just lend with corporate debt, and you're basically looking to put in a portion of money and get some cash flow. The debt investor is typically, if you're doing it right, you want to put yourself in the safest position. So when I'm a debt investor, I want to be in a first position or the equivalent. It could be that we take ownership and then we lease back to an to someone else. But anyways, a debt investor is just looking for cash flow.
Isn't this you, Flamenco?
We're not near Flamenco.
You're close
Costa
to
Bonita.
Mosquito Bay.
Costa Bonita is the name of the apartments we have in Culebra. So
It's right on top of that.
Mosquito Bay is in Vieques, not Culebra, Joseph says.
No, there's a Mosquito Bay there.
Costa Bonita.
I'm looking it up, guys. I'm putting it on the screen here, Alejandro. And then, Alan, I saw your question. We're doing yours next. Great question. Okay, this is Costa Bonita, and
This is our land. All of that.
all of this.
Yeah.
Right up into them,
Yeah. So right here, from like right there, going like that.
all the road too.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Here's the satellite.
Yeah. That's it.
There's roads. So all of this.
So it's this right here, that little road in the middle,
Okay.
and then land above it and land below it.
On. Okay.
Well, there and above it. Yeah. And you have crazy sick views.
Oh, and then look at right on the mouth of the bay.
Yeah. It's a great piece of land.
Yeah.
What's Alan's question?
Alan says, would you pay an extra $1,500 for added title insurance when buying a $400K property in Puerto Rico? That's tough.
You're right on the border, Alan. Right on the borderline. I
Like
probably,
$1 million? Yes.
Yeah, I probably would trust that you have good title. I would have the title search done, and if I was closing with one of my people that I like and that I trust, the way the title works on the island is that the notary is responsible to make sure you have good title. So it is just extra that you're paying. It really is just extra, and the likelihood is you'll never need it. It's really more about what you feel good about. I've bought thousands of houses at the foreclosure sale where we get no title insurance at all. So I'm probably a bad person to ask, Alan. Most people would say yes for peace of mind. For me, I say show me the title search and let us look at it. If we feel comfortable with it, I definitely wouldn't spend the $1,500.
Yeah. And then if it's a big enough amount of money, you just do it. You know,
Yeah,
$1 million, $2
if it's $1
million.
million and it's going to cost me $1,500 for a title insurance or something, sure, even more, just because it's such a big amount of money and it could hurt you.
Mike says, I've seen some real bad title issues when buying notes. Yeah, I bet it can get you. And Mike
man,
buys
I bet
non-performing second position. I bet they get pretty crazy.
I bet they do.
Yeah. How much are you selling the land for in Culebra?
And Culebra,
Wasn't it 5 million?
no, not 5 million. I'll take 5 million, but no, it's I want to say it's $750,000 right now.
That might be less than he wants, guys, but if you're watching right now, he'll sell it to you for that price
Yes, I don't know the
because
price.
he doesn't know the price. I do think it's low, but who
I thought
knows?
you were at 1.2 for a second.
We took it through that auction that one time and we
Yeah.
got 1.2. The guy bid on it. He was jumping up and down, high five in the room, and then he didn't close.
The
And
hell?
that was 2
And
or
did
3
you get his
years ago.
deposit?
We didn't get shit.
That's
Nothing.
crazy. Can you recommend any books to learn more about real estate investing to have a basic foundational understanding? We have a course in the free community and in Apex that goes into how to flip. Any books?
Well, I mean, Rich Dad Poor Dad
Um,
is just really good, basic
That's thinking about money.
foundational stuff about money, but it's also
Yeah.
real estate investing.
a good one that I read was from Brendan Turner, one of his bigger pocket books. Hold on, I'll find you a name right now.
Yeah, I like Brendan
He
Turner.
had a bunch of different strategies and it stuff that you probably already know, but it helps you piece it together real quick. Buying with banks and stuff like
the
that.
books that I read are more like business motivation and business are books that I've read. Like,
Well, and that's what we need, right? We're building teams and enterprises
Yeah,
and systems
that's
right
what,
now.
that's what
we're
trying to
doing.
do. Exactly.
It's called rental property investing. That's the last one I read from him.
So
but
Brendan
but
Turner,
the strategies work for flips as well.
he does for flips as well.
Yeah, it's just stuff that if you tinker with it a little bit, you can figure out how to use it for something else.
And you could probably find books from Ron LeGrand. You could probably find books. I don't know if Pace Morby or Jerry Norton have a book out there, but if they did,
Pace
it'd
Morby
work.
does.
Yeah.
He does about sub 2 and creative financing.
And man, anything you need is on YouTube. Everything is on YouTube.
Everything.
Everything. Andrea says, I'll send an email to you for more information.
Yes.
Tromina says, I can't seem to be able to join Apex. Got back to Puerto Rico on the 2nd. I need a contractor, someone willing to help me with mortar mix for ply cement.
Apply some.
How do we get you in Apex? Are you already in? Is that the problem? Do you have 2 accounts? That's happened to 1 or 2 other people. No, you don't. Give me a call tomorrow. I'll look you up and I'll give you a call and see if we can work through it.
Or even afterwards. Why don't we just call her after?
Yeah, we'll call you after. We'll call you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're almost done now.
We're almost done.
That I look down, it's 6 o'clock already.
Yep. I'll check it out. Well, we could be done right now. My chat's not working well either. Sounds
Yeah,
like you're
how
having
about-
some local internet issues.
Do you have a phone number we can call you at?
Thanks, Adon. I'll check it out. Let me make sure I've got your phone number here.
Do we have any other questions or are we done? You guys, if you haven't liked this already, go ahead and hit that like for us. It really helps. And we are trying to push the 30,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And we've been going really slow lately. So if you're watching this, I assume everyone who's watching this is already subscribed. But if you're watching this and you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us.
I don't have your phone number in the free account either. Can you send me an email to McKenna@theflipflopflipper.com and we'll talk.
All right.
All right.
Or put your phone number in
Or
here.
yeah, I don't know.
One
if
more
it-
thing, guys. The
There's phone
lady who
numbers.
needed
Oh, really?
the contractor. If you want to reach out to me, I can give you names. And again, I'll say it one more time. If your contractor doesn't feed you, it's not a good contractor.
Whoa,
Just saying.
I thought
dude.
you were buying them lunch. What they
Yeah.
ended up cooking you dinner?
I bought them lunch and they bought me dinner.
Nice.
You bought them
They
lunch
made me
at
dinner.
5 o'clock too.
Yep.
Very
It's
good.
a long day. I've been here since 5 o'clock.
You've been there 12 hours already, huh? Nice.
Miguel gets the last question. How can I determine the exit strategy using the cash flow?
So when I'm looking at selling cash flowing properties, I determine in my mind, what are other properties in the area selling for. So we recently sold a duplex, for instance, in Florida, and I had what did I have in revenue? I sold it for $500,000 because there was a duplex across the street that sold for $500,000, and I think we had about, let's call it $3,000 a month. So that divided by 500, I sold it at like an 8 cap, 7 or an 8 cap. In Puerto Rico, if I was selling something similar with the similar revenue, I'd probably be selling at a 10 cap.
Yeah.
And I might have to take an 11 or 12. But if I have good revenues, then I'm expecting to get a 10 cap in Puerto Rico. And in Florida, I'm expecting to sell at a 7 or an 8 cap. What that means for you, Miguel, is that you take your gross, and I do it on gross revenue. Other people might do the calculations on net revenue and do a smaller cap. But I take the gross revenue, $3,000 a month, is $36,000 a year. I think that math is right. And then I divide that by 10% would be $300,000. 8% would be almost $500,000. Actually, 7.2% would be about $500,000. And that's how I determine that. I hope that helps.
I think it does. Another thing I think about, Miguel, time is a huge quality of the exit strategy, a huge thing. Even if you'll make more money, if you stay for 10 years, it's oftentimes better to be faster. If you can get all of your money back as quick as possible, it's going to be a better deal, almost guaranteed. You got to do the math. It is a math question, but yeah, speed is of the essence. So if you have option of 2 different strategies and one takes 2 years and one takes 6 months, you really gotta weigh that one that's 6 months a lot heavier than the 2-year one.
And even if you're a buy and hold investor like I am,
Yeah.
the reason we sold that duplex wasn't just because it was selling for $500,000. It was because while our return on investment was pretty good, our return on equity, and the equity would be the $500,000, was not very good. I actually did a short video about it, and the difference is, like, if I'm making that $36,000 a year, I was only making on $500,000 7%.
Yeah.
My return on investment was still like almost close to 15% because I had not a whole lot of cash in it. My return on the cash that I invested was pretty good. My return on the overall equity was pretty poor in my mind.
Yeah.
Now, someone bought it from me to make 7%, and they're going, "Hey, my return on equity at 7% is good enough."
Well, did they get a bank loan?
They did.
Yeah, so they're leveraged.
They're leveraged, and I was cash.
And you were cash. That's the thing. You had way more equity than they do.
Yeah.
And they're getting the same amount of money.
That's true.
Mike calls it the velocity of capital. It's very true. The more you can turn your money over, the more you're going to make. All right, guys. Thanks.
Well, that went really fast.